warm welcome to the Green at Morton Weekly Update, as sponsored by McHugh, the auctioneers. Now, they do say that all good things come to an end, and it's the evolving fortune of football that a player has his time at a club and then decides to move on. That's certainly the case with my special guest today, who decided that after 3 years of leading the line for Morton and being top goal scorer in all those seasons, it's time to bring down the curtain on his Capello career. So today, I bid a warm welcome and indeed a fond farewell to Bob McHugh. Bob, how are you?
I am good, Jerry. Thanks very much for having us.
No, great to see you, pal, I have to say. Top goal scorer the last 3 seasons. Certainly this season, that's the way to go out, is it not?
I am sure as most strikers, you're always kind of selfishly looking to finish on that top goal scorer, but as most strikers would say, I'd like a few more goals as well in there. I'm happy with my time at Capello. It actually feels a lot longer than 3 years, if I'm being honest. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. So it's been a great 3 years, and I want to thank everybody at Morton for giving me that opportunity.
Well, you certainly grabbed your opportunity, and I mean, we said 12 goals for that last season there. But of course, the frustration is that you maybe had another 8 or 9 games to take that tally up even further.
Yeah, obviously there was a spell in the season. I think I missed maybe 8 games through when I pulled my hamstring. We had 2 games in quick succession, and if I'm being honest, I maybe missed the second one out because I knew my hamstring was really tight, and I think that was against Dundee United. That cost me maybe almost 12 games, I think. And then you think about the season getting cut short as well. It could have been a really good season for myself, but it wasn't to be. So, but still, like you're saying, top goal scorer, 12 goals. I was delighted with that.
Let's talk about your Morton career then, because as I say, it has been the 3 seasons. I know Greenock can make the years feel a wee bit longer because it has that kind of effect on people. But I mean, good years. You've enjoyed the evolution of the club in the last 3 years.
Aye, there's been a lot of changes, and I'm sure something you'll touch on is there's been a lot of managers. I think I've been through, 4 managers. Well, if you count Midge and Jim, we'll call it 5 managers. I think they've got a 100% record, as they keep reminding us. So there's been a lot of changes in the dressing room. The players, the turnaround of players. I couldn't believe my second season I was the longest current serving player at the club. So it just shows you the turnaround, and I think that's just Scottish football in general now, especially at the Championship level. There's major turnarounds in the dressing rooms every year, and obviously that went for managers as well at Morton. So it's been a really interesting, but I've really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't have a bad word to say about any of the managers I've worked under as well, and hopefully the feeling's mutual.
Well, that's how you look at that then. Jim Duffy signed you, of course. What did you make of Duff?
Duffy was great. I wasn't sure what I was coming into. I know he's well respected. He's had a great career in football and management. And Duff, he was excellent. He was kind of the old school mentality, and I enjoyed that. And his training and everything was spot on. So very good defensively as well. He's obviously been a former defender, and I think as a defender under him, I think he'd have learned a lot. And obviously as a striker as well, him and Hadji were an excellent combination, I felt.
And of course
they had a really good spell with the club as well, and obviously their time came to an end at the end of my first season, but I'd like to thank they two as well for bringing me in and giving me the chance.
And you took your chance, Bob, because I mean the club went to the Scottish Cup quarters that year up at Celtic Park.
Aye, it was a good season. I think I might be wrong here. I think they might have finished 5th, just outside the playoffs. Maybe not, maybe 6th, but we were there or thereabouts for most of the season. And obviously the season before, I think Duffy got on into the playoffs and stuff. So he had a really good spell at Capello, and I know he's well respected among most of the supporters, and that just goes throughout in Scottish football, I think.
Now, Jonathan Johansson came in, a bit of an unknown quantity as a manager. Really, I'd imagine very different from the approach that Duff would have. How did you find working with him?
JJ as I call him, because I was fortunate enough to work with JJ at Motherwell. He was a youth manager at Motherwell, and whenever I come down and played reserve games and stuff, he would take the game. So JJ was a good manager. He's obviously kind of inexperienced, but he still had a lot of qualities, and he played at a really good level as well. So you could see his thinking and his knowledge, and it never quite worked out for him. But he was a good manager, and hopefully he goes on to bigger and better things in the future, and manages to turn it around.
Was it a kind of good cop, bad cop thing with Peter Houston there as well? Peter's experience, obviously.
Well, Peter's another one I've worked with at Falkirk, my previous club, so I kind of knew what I was getting with Peter. Obviously, it was a different role for him coming in, and I think he was there to kind of mentor JJ as well at times. I think he was, with his experience, I think they were bouncing off each other, and it was a good combination. But obviously, in the end, I don't know what happened. It never worked out for them, but it was. I think they served the club well as well.
I mean, when you look at the Ray McKinnon, I hesitate to use the word era because I think I've had hangovers that lasted longer, to be honest. But you played 7 games with Ray. Was there a sea change there? Did you feel there was a sea change when Ray came in?
I think this is going to sound strange because we only played 7 games, but I think the feeling in the dressing room at that point, I think there was a really good feeling. I don't know, something had clicked in the dressing room, and I felt like we were only 3 games into the season, I think, when he left, but there was a kind of spirit within the dressing room. I remember the training session the day that we found out he left. It was one of the best sessions I've been involved in, as far as the standard and the atmosphere. So I think amongst the players, when we found out the news he'd left, I think there was a lot of disappointment and some anger as well. But I think there was a real strong special feeling in the dressing room. I think we'd prepared well pre-season, and it felt as if we were building towards something. And it was disappointing when we heard that news.
Difficult for a new manager to come in and sort of take over the reins in a situation like that.
Aye, it was hard because when the players, there's that much feeling in the dressing room, a disappointment and uncertainty really when you've worked 6-7 weeks during your pre-season towards a plan for the season, and then that to change kind of overnight. Basically, I think it was a Friday night. I think we were playing Partick Thistle on the Saturday, so it was hard. But that's just football, I think.
And then last season, of course, David Hopkin had come in. How did you find working with David?
He was great. David tried to sign me a couple of years ago at Livingston, and I think we've got different versions of the story, but I think his version of the story is that I told him that Livingston would get relegated, so I'm signing for Morton.
I bet that went down well.
Aye, I can't remember saying that myself, but that was his version of the story. I think I'm too polite to say that, but I maybe I thought it, but no, I went with Morton, and I don't regret it. I've loved my time at Morton, and I know he's a big Morton fan as well, so he understood it. Obviously, Livingston went on and got promoted. So that was the first conversation we had on the phone.
I bet it was.
He made sure I wasn't going to do that to him again. So no, it was right for the off. I knew the manager liked me for a couple of years ago, trying to get me at Livingston. So straight away, you're happy with the appointment. And then you go on to see what he done with Livingston. So everybody, I think, in the dressing room was happy with the appointment, and I think you can see when he's come in the changes he's trying to make around the club. It's not going to happen overnight, but there's small details, I think, and I think they go a long way and make a big difference. So I'd like to thank him as well for giving me another year's contract last season, and like to wish him all the best with his plans for the club in the future.
That's great. Highlights of your time at Capello. I'm thinking obviously the hat-trick against Alloa is one, but there must be a few highlights of your time. I was
saying that to the gaffer the other day. I think since the Alloa game, that's his new nickname for me was Alloa Bob. I think I'm going to miss getting called Alloa Bob. That was how he used to try and get me up for the games to get the best at me. Highlights, I think you could probably go back We've had a few games against St Mirren. I think my first season. I remember. I think it had to be under Duffy. I think they beat St Mirren. Was it 3-1? Maybe I can't really remember. But I remember I scored the goal. It was a lovely sunny day at Caplo, and I remember the atmosphere was excellent. I think when we went away to beat Falkirk, I think that was a massive game for us. They obviously went on to get relegated, and I think that was a massive turning point for us at the end of last season. And obviously the hat trick against Arlo, that was my first professional hat trick, so that was a great feeling. I think was it 5-1 against Partick Thistle. I think that was another day at Capital. There's plenty. I've probably missed a few out. Trying to think about them now off the top of my head, but the Arlo one's definitely one that I'm proud of. And obviously getting home with a match ball and getting it signed with the lads was nice.
Mm-hmm. You know, of course, Andy Ritchie and I were doing hospitality in the lounge all season, and your name seemed to come up quite a lot as man of the match. I mean, the number of times I think I had to get down to the dressing room and haul you up to speak to the punters and take your award, quite rightly. But I seem to remember myself that you were coming up quite a few times as man of the match.
I am not sure who was voting for that, but no, I had not a bad season. It's like I was saying earlier, there's been highs and lows in the season. There's been times where I was disappointed not to be playing. There's been times where I was injured. That was probably partly my own fault for playing, just desperate to be playing when I maybe should have been resting. So there's been highs and lows, the same as every season. That's just the nature of the job. So like you were saying with the man of the matches, no, I'm grateful that I managed to get a couple of man of the matches, and obviously that's maybe been voted for by the fans, and I'd like to thank the fans because I think they've been great with me since day one.
Well, you've always been a fan's favourite, Bob. In your time at Morton, who were, I know you don't like to take out individuals, but who were the kind of standout players that you felt in the dressing room for the last 3 years, were you?
I think maybe Michael Tidser was a fan's favourite at the time. Michael was a good player. You could see his quality, and the fans loved him. Another fan's favourite was maybe Big Jeebsy. Gary Harkins was a good player. You could see he's played at a good level. He was very skillful. Sometimes I felt he played at a position. I felt he should have been pushed further forward at times, but I'm not a manager, so that's not my decision. But I felt like he was a really good player, and I don't think we've seen the best of him. But I know the fans at Morton know what Gary's capable of, so I'd probably say they two are the two that I can think of off the top of my head right now. And obviously, Chris Miller will be disappointed I've not dropped his name in there, so I'll drop him in.
We've got to keep Midge happy, haven't we? Gary's he's just announced his retirement, of course.
Is that right? No, I didn't know that. I'd like to wish him all the best then. I'll need to drop him a wee message.
You mentioned you're not a manager there. I mean, I know you're still a young guy, almost coming up for 30 or so, but do you fancy being a manager? Do you fancy that side of the game?
I don't know if it's for me, I'll be honest. It's not something I've not done my badges or stuff. I've been doing other stuff outside of football. I'm in the middle of a gas engineering course at the moment. Got a few months left to do that, and I've been trying my hand in everything. I've done tiling courses. I've done numerous courses, IT stuff. I've not quite decided what I want to do after football. I'm just trying to keep kind of learning and keep trying to educate myself outside football as well, because times like that show you how fragile the career is as well. There's been times in the last week that I have applied for different jobs and stuff because there was that much uncertainty, and that was leading up to a couple of days left in my contract. There was that uncertainty over what's happening with football. I think clubs haven't got any sort of budget to work with just now. It's most clubs are extending a lot of clubs are extending furlough to the end of July, and then waiting for a decision to be made. So that was one of the reasons why I had to put my family first, and I didn't want to take the risk. that was one of the main factors. I've been offered a bit of security, so that was probably my main factor in the decision.
Always making decisions for family, Bob. That's what security is all about. I've mentioned and asked you about who were some of the top players you played with. Who's the mental characters in the dressing room?
The first season there was quite a few. Even maybe Calvin Ossie's up there. I think he's going to be a fan's favourite. I think he's got all the attributes to be a really good player for Morton. So I'm hoping he has a good season this season. But some of his stuff in the dressing room is very questionable. There's a few of them, to be fair. Cami Salka as well. There's some stuff goes on in that dressing room that I never want to see in another dressing room again. So I'm trying to think in terms of Michael Doyley.
Oh yeah.
When first one of the loudest guys and the busiest guys you've met. So there's been plenty good characters. Even Tidser was a really funny character in the dressing room as well. So you need boys like this. I'm kind of more reserved and more maybe have a wee chat with somebody in the corner, but you need these guys who keep the dressing room entertained and keep it nice and lively. Well,
it has been an absolute pleasure working with you this last year, Bob, dragging you up to the lounge every time you get man of the match, and the interviews that we've done, obviously, for the Green at Morton Weekly Update. Just on that issue, the manager issued a statement to me that I'm just going to read through for you. I'm really disappointed that Bob has decided to move on from the club. He was a model professional and our top goal scorer last season. He was also a very popular member of the squad. In these difficult times surrounding the game, Bob and I had a chat and we were honest and upfront with each other. He had an offer on the table from another club, and with furlough being extended, he decided to move on. We all wish him and his family all the best for the future. I think that pretty much sums up the feeling, Bob.
Aye, I'm not on Twitter or that, but my sister and my wife have showed me some of the messages and stuff that's since it got announced, and it's been really nice actually. The feedback's been excellent. I'd just like to thank, including the manager, and obviously I like to wish all the boys in the dressing room as well, because there's a lot of uncertainty still in that dressing room, and that's throughout Scottish football. That's probably just in general, a lot of stuff that's going on, and there'll be boys throughout Scottish football looking for jobs in the next couple of months. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to tie down for another couple of years. So I'd just like to wish everybody all the best at Capo, and that's supporters, players and management and everybody involved.
Well, there's no better way to leave a club than to do that, Bob. So listen, thanks, as I said, for the chance to work with you. I've enjoyed that immensely over the season, and I wish you all the very best.
Thanks very much, Jerry, and thanks to everybody involved. It's been a great few years, and I'll be following the club in the next couple of years, and wish everybody every success.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Thank you
also for joining us on the Green at Morton Weekly Update, as sponsored by McTears, the auctioneers.